Good morning, comic book fans. Welcome back to Comics in 5 Minutes. I'm your Errol Shorty, and we're going to be taking a look at the Nightwatcher right now. This is the first of the planned spin-offs from the new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle stuff going off, and it's the second one of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle comic books that I've read since they've done that. And for people who've missed the first one, just a little bit of catch-up, I have been a fan of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles since I was a teenager, but I've only really engaged them in the audio-visual media. I've never really read the comic books, and I have no excuse for this, because I've been a comic book fan since before I was a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle fan. Literally no good reason why I never gave them a try. I just didn't. So I'm kind of trying to come back and see it from a different angle and try them this time around. Like, we're starting with issue 1s, new creative teams. I'll say let's give it a go. The reason they've not quite made on my pull list yet is nothing to do with quality. They have been excellent. But we do have the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and the Nightwatcher, and we're going to have the Mutant Animals or Mutant Nation thing going on. And I just kind of wanted one solid thing to jump on. In the same way like with Transformers, I have been reading that, but I've not really gone with any of the G.I. Joe or spin-off kind of stuff, and I feel like I can enjoy that one on its own. I'm not too sure. I think the Teenage Mutant Ninja stuff, it feels like it is more of a shared universe, but I have really enjoyed it. And this one in particular, I've thoroughly enjoyed. Junior Barr's writing, Ferro Pay's artwork, all of it absolutely spectacular. We can start with the artwork. So the very first page, we have this really nice portrait, full page of a city. And it does the things I would expect and like when you get cityscapes. It understands three-point perspective, it uses colouring really well, and it looks really, really effectively like a city. It's great. But it also looks like a city that's lived in, and I think that is an important thing because of where it is, because it's one of the ghettoized areas where the mutants have been sent to within, I'm assuming New York. I'm fairly sure it's New York. And it looks very, very lived in a way which doesn't make it look what most people describe as being pretty. I actually really quite like it, though, for several reasons. Number one, I'm all in favour of graffiti if it lowers people's rents. Keep that up. Secondly, I find the idea of totally clean cities where the only decoration are corporate advertising hordes to be very, very soulless, whereas this looks very much like it's somewhere that's lived in. It also shows signs of deterioration because it was a poor area to begin with. I'm guessing that's why they were sent there. But it also makes us sympathise for the people who live there. They are surviving and they're making it their own, and I'm all in favour of that. Most of the rest of the comic, apart from the postscript stuff we'll do with later, is split between two aspects. We have a combat sequence, quite a long, prolonged combat sequence, with fantastic page layouts, dynamic art style, really, really good, brutal fight scene going on there. And while this is going on, we also get some fantastic narration over the top of it, which adds an awful lot to details of who the characters are and the world they're in, which is really important. I like that kind of world building where it flows naturally rather than just like info dumping. I think that's the best way of doing it. The details it adds to the characters are also really, really cool as well. Not just who they are, but their place in the world, but how they interact with the people, their expectations. It is a very, very effective fight scene in a whole bunch of ways. Interspersed with that fight scene are a bunch of Vox Pop pages, and I really like these interview kind of things, particularly because they're all done in a 9-panel grid format, which is really good when you think of how progressive and dynamic the page layouts with the fight sequences. This feels like a return to normality, and it is all person talking to camera. There's occasional interview questions going on, but mostly it's just a narration of what they're experiencing. People who are living in a world with mutants, people who are mutants, people see it from different points of view. There is some like overt racism analogies going on in here. They are unsubtle in a way that I think they need to be to get the point across that this is what this story arc is going to be dealing with. My personal favourite bit, which 100% is like proof that we're in a fictional world, is one guy who's a construction worker complaining about a mutant that is part horse, that has a strength of 3 men, and if this person turns up and does the job of 3 men, the boss is going to fire those 3 men. And then the reporter calls him on that and points out that mutants are basically being hired because they are from deprived areas and they can be fired a lot easier because they're unusual statuses. And if the bosses are hiring these people and firing other people, that is a problem with the hiring practices. That's not a problem with the mutants. I just love seeing that. That's like a genuinely cool point which needs to be made more, especially in the real world. This isn't the real world, and I'll take that, but I still really like it. And then we get the ending, and we reveal who the Nightwatcher is, and it's really kind of cool. Again, I'm not a big TMNT comic book fan. I didn't see it coming. I imagine it probably would have been more obvious. People have been following it along from the last few years of it, but I at least knew what was going on enough to follow the point that was being made. And again, it adds to characterization, and through the characterization, it adds to world building, and it sets up some very cool plot potentiality to go forward with this series. I honestly got a lot from this book. I think layout, art style, writing style, everything about it kind of spoke to me and what I want from a comic book. I hope if you give it a shot, you're as impressed as I am. That's it from me for now, and probably for the week, so I'll see you when I see you. Until then, look after each other, everyone. Stay safe. Bye!